second round of this great championship, which sees on the front row Mark Lemmer and Simon Harrison, and Harrison gets a cracking start from the inside of the second row. Daniel Eves in the Peugeot 306 gets an even better one, and Lemmer and Harrison squabbling into paddock for this first opening lap, and Harrison gets it. So from the outside, Simon Harrison makes a great start. We're right along board with Tony Rukkinen, who's carrying an extra 25 kilograms of weight this weekend. That's a success penalty, which is all designed to keep everything nice and even. And the spinner there is Rick Kramer. Kramer spins out up at Druids, but he rejoins at the end. And as they come into Graham Hill Bend, it's Harrison leads from Lemmer in second place, and Tony Rukkinen, or rather Daniel Eves it is, in third place. And Eves too is also carrying success ballast, at 35 kilograms for his race win at Snetterton last time out. Well, we are on the Grand Prix circuit, as I mentioned, and so they have the glorious chance to stretch the legs of these Honda Integras, the Peugeots and the Datsuns and so on that contend in this championship. But at the moment, out front, brilliant battle going on. Harrison with Lemmer in his wheel tracks, and Stephen Day launches himself into third place. And if that car looks familiar, we'll talk about that in a moment as we ride alongside Tony Rukkinen. Rukkinen tucked in behind Stuart Clark. They're side by side as they come towards us back in the Brands Hatch Amphitheatre, the Indy Circuit section, where we're perhaps more favourable and familiar with them. But look how they fly here through and into Dingle Dell. And if you look at the third place man, that's Stephen Day. The car livery might be familiar to you if you've seen the National Saloon Cup with us before. But that is Stephen Day replacing Roger Mose, the championship leader, who's got a problem. And talking of problems, Kermit's got it all out of shape. Oh dear oh me, the Frenchman is going to kiss the barrier. Well, Miss Piggy tried to kiss Kermit. Kermit's now kissing the barriers. It's all happening down at Clark Curve, but we're back with the race leaders at Druids. Simon Harrison in 40 leads Mark Lemmer in 8. The two Honda Integras, in fact 3 Honda Integras out front, and Roger Mone, the championship leader, resting today and replaced by Stephen Day because he's got an injury, has Roger Mone. He's absent this weekend, but the Honda Civic's further back, squabbling away as well. And I'll tell you what, Dan Eves in the Peugeot there is catching third place Stephen Day. Out into the countryside they go once more. Really can get the power on here. Up into fifth gear, under the bridge, drop down the hill, and watch the inside. Is there a gap there for Lemmer? No, there isn't, is the answer, because Harrison sweeps across, kisses the apex, drifts it out wide, and you get a great view of the far side of Brands Hatch. Of course, talk about Brands Hatch being the host of the British Grand Prix in future years, but that's some way off yet. And at the moment, Harrison and Lemmer concentrating on this round of the championship. Oh, and Lemmer's got the inside line here. He lifts up, brakes hard, and he's through. Mark Lemmer sneaks through Simon Harrison. Well, Harrison left the door open there. Oh, he did everything but put a welcome mat down. He's going to lose the second place as well, I think, because on the outside of him, trying to go around the outside, is Stephen Day. Stephen Day goes round the outside. I don't know what Simon Harrison is gesticulating at there, whether he felt he got a tap or something, but certainly Stephen Day took advantage. Or has Harrison got a problem? Because at the moment, Dan Eves is trying to go the inside. And remember, Eves carrying that extra ballast. Simon Harrison closes the door on him and says, if you want to come through here, you're going to have to try harder than that, that's for sure. But Mark Lemmer, having got past Simon Harrison, will now start to try and stretch his legs over second place Stephen Day. It's actually good news from a championship point of view that, for Mark Lemmer anyway, that Stephen Day is driving Roger Mone's car. When they arrived here at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit, Mark Lemmer was lying back in third place overall, some 14 points back, make that 15 points in fact, back from the series leader and absentee Roger Mone. So Lemmer here, a good victory for him would be a real boost for his championship aspirations. Now further back, they're squabbling over places as well. The car of Rick Kramer there just sneaking up the inside of Dave Allen in the Honda Civic. So change of order there, but right up front, no change in the race order. Lemmer leads, Day second. In third place it's Harrison. And then back in fourth and fifth, the two Peugeot 306s of Dan Eves and Tony Rukkinen. Well, there is Eves. Ooh, big leap over those curbs. I'll tell you what, you've got to be brave, haven't you? Left-hander is Sterling through that, and then they head back towards the grandstand section. I'll tell you, also having a good run back in sixth place at the moment as we watch Stephen Day go into Clark Curve past the stranded Proton of Kermit. Good run being had by Stuart Clark, back in 6th position at the moment in his Honda Integra. Another lap completed. Mark Lemmer sets the fastest lap of the race on that tour. And you can see how he's stretched an advantage marginally over Stephen Day, but these two pulling out now from third place man there in number 40, Simon Harrison, and you can see that rear right wheel being lifted up by Harrison as he hurls his car around Druids, drops down the hill. We ride with Tony Rukkinen in the Peugeot. Normally they'd change down a gear, or change up a gear rather, into fourth there, but with the tighter configuration of Graham Hill Bend this year, with the work that was done during the winter, it's still a third gear corner, and so is this, and Rukkinen runs wide. Oh, big handfuls of understeer there for Tony Rukkinen. Now, has Rukkinen got a problem? He certainly lost the place to Stuart Clark, so Clark slides through, says thank you very much, that'll do nicely, and we're back with the leaders. Well, Stephen Day's no stranger to one-make racing, and particularly to saloon car racing. Campaigned a Volkswagen for many a year, and at the moment is hunting down Mark Lemmer. Lemmer, who's had victories this year, had a victory in round 3 at Oldham Park, and also followed that with a victory at the following round on the Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone, which will be the next venue for the National Saloon Cup. They are one of the support races for the British Grand Prix, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy that. Now, going through there is Matt Kelly with a big hump over the curbs. Kelly, who races in MGF Cup and is having the outing in the BMW again this weekend. Look at this great scrap going on. Tony Rukkinen, after his error, or was he given a shove, I wonder? Trying to get back on the inside of Stuart Clark, and he'll do it. He's alongside him. Oh, bit of a squirrely moment there under braking from Tony Rukkinen. But despite the extra weight he's carrying for that success at Snetterton, he gets on through there. Stuart Clark can do nothing about it. He's forced wide and has to slot in there, as you see in the blue and white car behind Tony Rukkinen. Well, it's been a change of car for Tony Rukkinen. He also campaigned a Honda Integra last year, but has switched to the fledgling Peugeot team that has had such a brilliant start to its campaign. And through up the inside there, a change of position as well, because it looks as though the 12 car gone through, and that's Nick James picking up a place, and we rejoin the leaders out in the country. Mark Lemmer. Well, since he put that move on Simon Harrison early on, but that was a very scary moment there. Mark Lemmer, I thought he was going straight off for a moment, held it all together though, and with each lap he's just picking out a 10th here and a 10th there over second place Stephen Day, but still Matt Kelly and the 26 machine of Richard Maines fighting it out. In fact, here they are back crossing the line there, and this time Richard Maines going down the inside. They're going to be side by side. Well, Kelly doesn't give places away easily. He's taking the wide line in, hoping to get up the inside, going to Druids, but Richard Maines holds a position. Kelly there with a late dive on the inside. Oh, this could be dramatic for both of them. I'll tell you what, if Richard Maines hadn't backed off there, Kelly would have been in all sorts of problems. We rejoin the leaders though. There is Simon Harrison, third place. Well, looking at the lap times, he's running reasonably close enough to Mark Lemmer's times, but Lemmer just still continuing to inch away. And here he is up at Druids. Well, Lemmer chasing his second victory of the season. At the moment, he's still got a bit of work to do. He won the opening round at Silverstone after coming together by Simon Harrison, and David Shaw took them out when they were fighting it out for the first win of the year. But at the moment, we ride on board with Tony Rukkinen. Got his teammate Dan Eves ahead of him, and they really have worked brilliantly well as a team, these two. The development that they've gone through to get the Peugeots working as well as they are so soon as they are, it is quite a remarkable achievement. There is Dan Eves, an extra 35 kilograms carried by him. Rukkinen with the extra 25. And that is another thing about this championship. It does equalise the cars. If you start winning lots of races, they just add more weight to you, and that tends to provide an even keel and a solid platform. Well, Mark Lemmer is the quickest out there at the moment, so if he can maintain that advantage in terms of lap times, he's going to pick up an extra point for the fastest lap anyway, and looks in certainly good shape and form here. Turns left-handed through Stirling's. That'll bring him back into the section. There's a great view from Tony Rukkinen's car of Dingle Dell, and you drop it down a gear, swing across to the apex of the corner. Meanwhile, Mark Lemmer on his way towards a checkered flag and his second victory of the year. Superb drive by him. Great win for Mark Lemmer in the Honda Integra R. And second place will go to Stephen Day, so he was a good choice by Roger Mains. Tony Rukkinen will cross the line and pick up points for the Peugeot team, having finished 5th place. But what about Mark Lemmer? Fantastic stuff by him. And so, meanwhile, Matt Kelly and Richard Mains still haven't settled their score. Looks as though Matt Kelly's going to get on the line now. He will take 7th place ahead of Richard Mains. So Matt Kelly switches his MGF for a BMW here in the National Saloon Cup. And later on the podium, well, the trophy there for Mark Lemmer after that great drive. Second place there, also going to the Honda van. He wants a kiss, does Mark Lemmer? Well, you can't blame him, can you? I mean, we'd all get in the queue for that one. So Stephen Day picks up second, Simon Harrison third.
At the start, it was a bit nip and tuck. Simon's a very, very tough competitor, and I've raced against Stephen Day for many years. But Simon got away very well from the outside of the front row. Brands is one of the few places that you can do that because of the sloping grid, and I was a bit shocked to see him get away.
All the years I've been talking to you, you've retained your enthusiasm. You just love racing, don't you?
Yeah, it's in the family's blood, and my Barwell team are absolutely committed to the sport. They do a very, very good job. We've got Vectras up at Donington and some historics up at Snetterton. But yeah, I mean, this is a good series as well. I really enjoy driving the Honda, and we've got it really flying now.
Well, he's a busy lad, isn't he, Mark Lemmer? But a 1-2-3 there for the Honda Integras for Lemmer, Day and Harrison. Dan Eves and Tony Rukkinen pick up 4th and 5th respectively for the Peugeot 306s, and a fine 6th place, a storming drive by Stuart Clark in the Honda Integra R.